We are live.
Okay. I call to order this meeting of the Citizens Advisory Council for March 24th, 2022. I am Aurel Henry, and I'm the chair of the CAC. Let's go ahead and get started. We have a treat today, guys, so I hope everyone is ready. But before we get there, let's go ahead and start with roll call. So with the CAC members, please say here as I call your name. Kaishona Person.
Present.
Warren Boone.
Here.
Mr. Donald Belton. Tim Andrew. Jessica Wynn. Jason Hicks.
Here.
Thank you. Dr. Kelly Jackson.
Here.
And Mr. Robert Sims.
Here.
Okay. Next on the agenda, let's go ahead and start with prayer. So Mr. Boone, will you lead us in prayer?
Sure. Father God in heaven, we honor you for the day. We thank you once again, God, that you've allowed us to gather at this time. And God, we ask that we be about the business for the city of High Point, Father. We just honor you again that you continue to give us wisdom, insight, and discernment of spirit, Father. We just thank you again for our life and our families that surround us, Father. We just love you and we honor you for it all. In Jesus' name, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that prayer. Like I said, guys, we have a treat. So with our CAC, we have our presentation. And so what we will do is we will have that presentation done first, and then we will conduct our CAC business at the end. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Nina. She will be doing a presentation for the citizen participation. And it's a great presentation, guys. So I really want y'all to listen, pay attention. And if you have any questions, of course, there will be mediums for you to do that. So Miss Nina, please take it away.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all letting me do this presentation first on your agenda. And we asked this because this is the third citizen participation meeting that we are conducting. The first meeting was last Friday. And then we had the second meeting on this past Tuesday. We decided, just as we did last year, because these are virtual meetings, to maybe have more meetings, just so that we give people an opportunity to sort of tune in. And so we had one meeting during the day, the one that was on Friday, and then the one Tuesday was in the evening, just as this meeting is this evening. And what the citizen participation meeting is for is we are in the process of getting ready to plan and develop our annual action plan. And that plan, of course, requires that we do certain consultations and we have a citizen participation process. And so that's what we're doing here with you all this evening. And so for the presentation, the meeting outline, I will go through strengthening the neighborhoods, just the things that we do and activities that we undertake, an action plan overview. Then we will look at some of the current activities and how we make a difference in our communities. We'll take a look at the action plan schedule, and then we will open it up for discussion. So for anyone that is joining us live this evening, you will be able to enter any questions or make comments in the chat. We do have staff that will be monitoring the chat. So if you have comments, questions, or anything, please don't hesitate to put those in the chat. Okay, the goal of community development and housing is to strengthen neighborhoods. And we do that by providing decent, affordable housing for low to moderate income families. We promote community and economic development. We assist with the provision of services for homeless populations, and we do this through strategic code enforcement. When we talk about activities that actually strengthen neighborhoods, These include our Core City Homebuyer Incentive Program and down payment assistance, code enforcement, as I mentioned. We also undertake a one-day event called Operation Inasmuch. We provide technical assistance to our neighborhood associations. We provide public service grants. The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program is also a service provided through our department free of charge. We offer emergency repairs and housing rehabilitation, single-family housing development, multifamily housing development, and we also support community gardens. For the program year 2022-23, this will be the third year of our 5-year consolidated plan. And what this will do is basically describe how we will implement activities through the use of federal, state, and local resources to address priority needs that were identified in the 5-year plan. And those include affordable housing construction, expanding homeownership opportunities, decreasing homelessness, code enforcement and neighborhood cleanup, core city revitalization, job training and employment assistance, public services, and fair housing education and awareness. Here we have our current income limits table. These income limits are issued by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. They are issued each year. And these are the income guidelines that we follow as we are implementing our programs. As you can see, for the 2021 program year, the area median income for a household of 4 is $66,700. And so all of the programs that we implement, the households must be at or below 80% of the area median income. So when you see those columns there, you see that there are extremely low income households, very low income, and then the low income, the 80% AMI, or the area median income. We also have fair market rents that are issued by HUD. And what this basically tells us is that this is the maximum that should be paid for an apartment or a rental unit for the particular bedroom size. So if you look at a 3-bedroom unit, what HUD considers to be fair market value is $1,135. And I think some of the things that we have definitely seen in the market right now, we know that the housing industry is experiencing a boom right now. And fair market rents, most people would say, is whatever a person is willing to pay. But we're going to be very interested to see what these fair market rents and what income limits and things like that will look like for the coming year. These are generally issued around May or June of each year. So we'll be interested to kind of see how the market has any influence, or if it will actually influence these particular numbers. Okay, our annual funding sources include first the Cdbg program, and that provides funding to develop viable communities by providing decent housing, a suitable living environment, and opportunities to expand economic opportunities, principally for low and moderate income persons. We also have the home program. Those funds are used primarily for housing activities, and we can build, buy, and or rehabilitate affordable housing that is for rent or home ownership, and also provide direct rental assistance to low-income individuals. We also receive local support through the general fund for the Core City Redevelopment Fund. And with that funding, we undertake Operation Inasmuch, our Core City Homebuyer Incentive Program, and we also look at infill development opportunities. That can be acquiring properties that may become available through tax foreclosure. It also helps us to maintain those properties that we have in our inventory. And so those are the types of things that we're looking at when we talk about infill development. And then we do receive funding from the state through the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. It is through the Urgent Repair Program, or ERP. We receive funding, and through the CTP, or Construction Training Partnership Program. And this funding is used for urgent repairs for vulnerable and extremely low-income households. So if you recall on the chart, there were two columns, one that was for extremely low, that was 30% of the area median income, and then a column that was 50% of the area median income. So those are the households that we serve with those urgent repair funds. Households must have an income that is less than or equal to 50% of the area median income. And then, of course, there are certain special populations such as the elderly or the disabled or veterans, those that are served through that particular program. And then the Construction Training Partnership Program is a job skills training program. And we partner with the North Carolina Home Builders Association and High Point Community Against Violence to carry out this program. And what they actually do is through a classroom setting and hands-on, participants and students are able to learn construction skills. So they will actually go through a 10-week course, and that is actually underway right now. And so they do learn job skills, and they hopefully, after they complete the class, can secure employment in the construction industry. So when we look at our 2022-23 budget, these are projected sources and uses. And we say projected because we have not received our annual allocations from HUD, so we don't know exactly what those will be. And of course, the city's budget has not been approved at this point. We are in the process, and the city's been in the process of developing the next fiscal year budget. So these are projections based on our current year funding. And so what we are looking at or projecting for the CDBG program is $1,050,000. For the home program, $570,000. For state funding, $140,000. The VITA program, $7,000. And support from the general fund in the amount of $863,219, which gives us a total projected budget of $2,630,219. And our proposed uses for the funding, and this is all funding combined for affordable housing activities for the emergency repair, urgent repair program, $171,115. For Operation Inasmuch, $200,000. And we also work with nonprofit agencies that are designated as CHODOs, or those are community housing development organizations, and they construct single family affordable housing. And we are projecting $413,300 for that program. Homebuyer assistance, $237,500. Infill housing development, $45,000. The Construction Training Partnership Program, $130,000. Core city activities, $27,500. Our Section 108 loan repayment of $181,000. And just to tell you just a little bit about the Section 108 loan program, that is a guaranteed loan program through HUD. And those funds that were secured were used in the development of multifamily housing, where we have partnered with our a private developer, Winfield Properties, to actually construct those multifamily affordable housing projects. And then program delivery, $461,265 for a total budget or proposed uses of $1,866,680. For community and neighborhood development proposed activities, we have public service grants at $70,000 and community capacity building, $227,018, and the VITA program, the $7,000 for a total budget of $304,018. And then program administration from all sources, we're looking at $459,521. So these are the projected uses for the funding that we anticipate receiving for the 2022-23 program year. Some of the activities that we undertake when we talk about community capacity building, of course, is our public service grants, the community-based initiatives, neighborhood association technical assistance, the homeless assistance initiatives that we undertake, as well as the VITA program. And then core city redevelopment, comprehensive code enforcement, which is minimum housing and public nuisance abatement, infill housing development, our core city homebuyer incentive program, and also acquisition, demolition, and blight removal. And as you can see, these are the 10, along the borders of the slide, these are the 10 neighborhoods that the department initially started working with when we started working with neighborhoods, providing that technical assistance and community capacity building. And so these are the neighborhoods that we are currently continuing to work with. Some are not as active now, but we do hope that we can bring some of them back online soon. And I think most of you in the CAC, actually participate in the Neighborhood Leaders Council. Of course, this was started in 2006, which was to help our neighborhoods come together to improve their communities. The leaders, of course, meet once a month and often receive presentations of interest to the group. So staff will work to facilitate those meetings and actually bring in speakers and presenters that can provide information on topics that the Leaders Council has said we'd like to get some more information and take that information to our communities. And as you can see, these are the communities, the neighborhoods that we have continued to work with since 2006. And we have actually added a couple more. These were the original, but we have also added London Woods now to the neighborhoods that we work with, as well as the Haley Memorial Historic, I'm sorry, I never did that right, Michelle.
Haley Historical Neighborhood Association.
Thank you so much. I need to write that down, but I apologize. But yeah, so we have added some additional neighborhoods as well. Okay, and you all are quite familiar with our Cdbg Cv activity budget. The CAC, you all had definitely a hand and participated in allocating these funds. And this is an update as to where we stand right now with that Cdbg Cv funding. Of course, these were funds that we were awarded through the CARES Act, and they were to use to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus pandemic. We received $1,141,357. And the total that has been allocated of those funds is $715,556. Of that, we have $628,952 that is currently under contract. And 64% of those funds have been expended through February of this year. So just through February, we've expended almost 3/4 of what has been allocated. And then we do have additional funds that have been allocated for a public facility activity. Now that activity has not been identified, but the goal is that we will use those funds for some project that may have a lasting long-term impact within the community, which could be, when we talk about public services, these are things like resource centers, homeless, possibly a homeless day center. We know that that is definitely an effort that the city has been looking into for some time now. So those are the types of activities that we're looking at doing with that particular funding. Again, it's been set aside for that, but no site or specific activity has been identified at this point. And these are just some of the community partners that we work with. We often always say that we could not do this by ourselves. We can't do it on our own. So we truly depend on our community partners to work with us as we do implement these programs to improve our communities. through the VITA program, what we like to show here is that this is a service that is truly benefiting households that need a free service. 2020, this takes us through 2020, and of course, VITA is in full swing right now, and I know that Michelle and Megan will be happy when April 18th rolls around, because they have been very busy with the VITA program. And this is a service that provides free tax preparation for households that have an income of $57,000 or less. But you can see from the chart that the average adjusted gross income of the households that we serve there in that last column is actually $17,014. So that shows that we are really reaching those households that have lower incomes. And if you look at the column that shows the federal refunds, through this program, we've been able to bring back into the community through these households $9.9 million. So those are dollars that are coming back into our community that households can use for goods, services, whatever it is that they need to support the community and to support our local businesses. So we can definitely see that this program has been a tremendous benefit to the city. And here we talk about strategic code enforcement. And as we can see here, we all are familiar, I think, with properties in various neighborhoods that may not be kept up or have been maybe boarded up, those types of things. And so, of course, these are blighting influences that weaken our neighborhoods. They definitely have a negative impact and effect on the surrounding community. So I wanted to show you just a couple of examples of property owners who have actually gone back and repaired their property. So this is one that our code enforcement department was working with. And as you can see here now, this is the property after it was renovated. And we know that there is a shortage of decent, safe, and affordable housing. And so now here we have a unit that can be put back into service, that can be rented or sold, to an affordable household. And you can see just the tremendous difference that this property makes in a neighborhood versus the way that it looked before. And this is another example just to show you again of just, again, like I said, I know we all have seen these properties within various neighborhoods. And then this is what this property looks like now after it has been renovated and repaired. And again, just a tremendous difference that this makes when we talk about the effects that it has on the surrounding neighborhood and the neighbors. And of course, we use vacant land for our community gardens. Not only do we support them through the use of the properties, but also allowing organizations to request mulch, soil, those types of things in support of the community gardens. And so this shows just several of the locations throughout the city. Here are just a couple of the activities that we have underway when we talk about affordable housing activities. The house that you see sort of center of the slide, that is a house that's currently under construction in the Southside community. And so it is for home ownership and will be made available for a first-time home buyer at an affordable price, and just providing, again, that decent, safe, and affordable housing. And you can also see here a repair that was done through our construction training program. Before, the homeowner could not use the bathroom, actually had it closed up with a towel underneath the door. So now you can see on the right what that renovated bathroom looks like now. And so now this person has a very nice bathroom that they are able to, again, use. Operation in as much, as I mentioned before, is a one-day event. It is a day of service where we provide free home repairs to homeowners in various communities. And we have identified certain neighborhoods of greatest need, which you can see that includes some of our all of the neighborhoods that we actually work with within the core city. We do have an upcoming event, April the 30th. And the neighborhood that we will be in this for the spring activity is the Washington Street neighborhood. So the planning and everything for that particular event is well underway. And we are definitely looking forward to that taking place in just a couple weeks. The activity or the community that we assisted in the fall was the Macedonia Pershing Street neighborhood. And we rehabilitated 13 homes, and there were 135 volunteers that showed up on that day. So we know that this is a partnership and a collaboration between the city. We have two nonprofit organizations that we work with, Community Housing Solutions and the Housing Consultants Group, and as well as churches and volunteers that donate their time to actually volunteer and provide these services on this day. So if anyone is interested in volunteering or being a part of that event that day, please reach out to our office. We will have our contact information at the end of the presentation. And you can reach out to any one of us or put your information in the chat, and we will certainly reach out to you. This particular project is the Cdro Subdivision. This will be a 19 single-family unit development. And these are single-family homes that are affordable. As you can see here, this is one of the houses that has been completed and sold. We currently have 4 units that have been completed, and hopefully we'll get the other 15 units completed within the next year and a half or so. We're not exempt to the things that are going on within the industry right now with the delays in the supply chain and things like that. So it's making things very difficult. And of course, we see the increases in the construction costs for us as well. So it's making it a little bit more challenging, but we definitely do have plans to get this project completed within the next, I would say, 18 months or so. And this is another project that we are working with Habitat. The Cdro project, we've been working with Community Housing Solutions. They are one of our CHODOs, and we work with Habitat, and they are the other CHODO that we work with, which is the Community Housing Development Organization. And this is over on Cable Street. This property was just completed and sold. There will be 2 more. One is underway, and there will be another one to be constructed soon. And when we finish the Cable Street project, we do anticipate that there may be about 12 single-family houses within that particular neighborhood. These are the multifamily affordable housing projects that we have participated in. The city has actually provided funding for 5 low-income housing tax credit projects. One was an elderly complex, and that is the one on the top left, Admiral Point. And then we have also participated in 4 other projects that were for families, And all of these projects range in size from about 54 units to 72 units. This is the schedule for our action plan. So as I mentioned before, we have completed, or we have conducted, 2 of our citizen participation meetings, and this of course is the 3rd. And then what we will do is we will take comments and receive feedback from these meetings, and we'll incorporate that into the plan, into our draft plan as appropriate. And then we'll make a draft plan available to the public for review for 30 days. And that will be from April 1st through the 30th. And we'll make that plan available, of course, on our website. It will be here available in our office. And there will be a couple other places within the community, like the library and, of course, our 4th Street office as well. And then we will do a presentation to the City Council Community Development Committee. April 5th is when we're proposing to do that. There will be a public hearing before City Council, April the 18th. And then we will bring the what we hope will be very close to the final plan back to the CAC on April the 28th. It's your April 28th meeting. And that will be before we take it to council for approval. We will go in May, on May the 2nd, and request council approval for submission of the plan to HUD on or before May the 15th. So we have just a couple more months to get this prepared and ready for submission. And hopefully before then, by the time we come back to you in April, hopefully we will have our allocations and can give some better numbers as far as the budget projections are concerned. And so that concludes the information that I have to share with you. And so I do want to open it up for discussion, for any questions, any comments. Again, those can be put in the chat. I'm not sure, Mr. Chair, if anyone that is watching, if they can actually be brought into the live meeting. I do believe we have that capability if someone wishes to speak. So I will definitely open it up at this point.
Yes, Nina, they can be brought in whenever they raise their hand. Noelle will actually bring them in to speak, and whenever their question is answered, she'll take them back out. And then the CAC panel can just speak if they would like to, because they are on the panel.
All right, good evening. This is Rob Sims, Ward 3. Nina, what was the April 5th date? What was going on that day?
Okay, I'm sorry. April the 5th is the presentation to the Community Development Committee. My apologies. I'm going to stop sharing I'm sorry about that. Okay, April 5th is the Community Development Committee. Yes.
Okay. And then I have another question. The construction training partnership, what does that do?
Okay, what we actually do is, as I said, we work with the North Carolina Home Builders Association, and what they do is actually teach the class. There is a classroom portion where they go through, when we say construction training, they're actually teaching them the various things as far as carpentry. Really, the focus of that program is carpentry, but because we do allow them to also, once they've completed the class, work on some of our projects, they do get some experience in working with other trades. They are exposed to plumbing repairs, or, electrical, all those types of things. And so they work with High Point Community Against Violence to actually do the hands-on training, but the Home Builders Association provides the classroom training. So it's when we talk about construction training, anything that has to do with building, and what they actually produce through this particular project is a shed. It's a storage shed, and those sheds are then donated to our community gardens, to the neighborhoods and nonprofits that have community gardens. And those sheds are then donated once they're completed.
Okay. I have another question. The infill development opportunity, what's the main goal of that program?
When we talk about infill development, it's like I said, right now we maintain approximately 100 or so vacant lots. And so I was just in the last couple weeks, we have had interest from developers or builders, even a church that wanted to purchase some of those lots. And so so that is what we consider to be infill development. We're maintaining those lots for individuals that want to come and build housing on those lots. And most of them have come through tax foreclosures for properties that maybe there were not other investors or folks that were interested when they were made available at the courthouse steps, so to speak. And the city, of course, has brought those properties in-house. And so we are maintaining those. We do also use some of that money to do very minor repairs for homeowners. It may be something that let's just say if they say my heat is not working, we go out, we do an assessment and we find that it just needs to be a thermostat replaced, then we will use, those funds for that type of thing. But a lot of it is primarily for demolition. If we get a property that has a unit on it that needs to be demolished, and for maintenance of the vacant lots.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nina. And I just want to say, to community development, you guys are doing a great job. I volunteer with VITA, and we got an awesome program. And I just, want everybody to know just how much High Point is involved in the community. So good job, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you,
Nina,
Mr. Sims. I just wanted to.
Dr. Jackson, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was
Dr.
going to say you're
Jackson
fine.
Yeah, Dr. Jackson put a question in the chat that says, has there been a plan put in place for sustainability maintenance of homes that are rented out? Will Housing Authority maintain care of renovated homes?
Okay, we do not currently have any type of repair or emergency repair programs for rental housing. That is just something that we don't have in place right now. And there has been a lot of discussion as to how we can possibly do something like that. We just don't have it in place right now. I think that there is there's the public opinion that investors should maintain their properties, their own properties, so to speak. But we know that, by the same token, tenants and renters are sometimes, I guess, kind of held captive, so to speak, and that they don't have a choice in a lot of cases when they do need affordable housing. And of course, they're not able to make the repairs. So it's just kind of, you just have different opinions when it comes to assisting investors with public dollars. And as far as the Housing Authority, that is a separate entity. I think, Kaisha, you said the Housing Authority?
Yeah, I
Is
was,
that correct? Okay.
sorry.
Yes, Dr. Jackson.
Asking- Yeah, I was just asking, for, you were showing the before and after, what has been put in place to prevent that from going back to the way it was? You know what I'm saying?
Right. The only thing that we can do, because those are privately owned properties, so we do hope that the property owners will maintain them. But should they not, then it would still go through the code enforcement process. That's the only thing that we have, is just enforcement of the ordinance.
Okay, and then are conversations or issues like this being brought up at the neighborhood meetings? Because of course these houses are in the neighborhoods that were on the list. When they have a neighborhood meeting, do they talk, maintenance and cleanness of the community by the people that live in the community?
I'll defer to Michelle if that's okay, because I know that she's the one that facilitates the neighborhood meeting.
Dr. Jackson, what happens is if there are new homes brought up in those particular neighborhoods, they try to get those individuals involved in the neighborhood association so that they can talk about keeping the neighborhood clean and how that is going to happen. And they try to get those residents to join those neighborhood associations to be a part of that whole effort to have a safe and clean neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering because the new housing and all that is really great, but we also know that there's a lot of things like that person's going to need a lawnmower, a weed eater, simple things to keep it as it is. So I didn't know if neighborhoods had you know, like a group that comes in, or people in the neighborhood just cut each other grass, you know, I don't know.
And they don't really have a group that would do that type of thing because, as Nina stated earlier, they're looking for that property owner to maintain their own property. And I am pretty sure if somebody needs help doing things, that the neighborhood will try to pitch in to try to help as much as they can. But they really look and depend on that property owner to maintain their own property.
And if I can say too, for homeowners, that was part of the reasoning for us even beginning the operation in as much event, because not only do we do home repairs, but there are also some projects where there have been things like cleaning up the yard, the weeds, maybe just some painting a fence. They have mowed grass, cut down trees. So, you know, it just kind of depends on what the homeowners need for that specific event. But when it comes to rental property, that is a greater challenge. The one thing that I will say too is that we have had some contact from the Realtors Association about properties that are in disrepair, that maybe have been brought to council for a demolition order, and just trying to see if there's anything that we might be able to do to partner with them and through the North Carolina Realtors Foundation, to see if there's anything that we could possibly do to save those homes. And so we are in discussions, and we do try to look at ways that we can you know, bring these properties back online so that they don't have to be demolished. Again, like I said, we know that there's a shortage of affordable housing. And I know a lot of people think that we're just in the business of demolishing houses, and that is definitely not the case. I mean, we would love to see, you know, the properties that are torn down, if those could be put back in use, that would be, you know, the best thing that could possibly happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions or comments for me?
And then quick question. Sorry, or I jumped in front of you there.
No, you're fine.
I
I was gonna ask that same question, so you're good.
I was gonna ask. I was actually wondering, is community development involved in the process over at Legacy Ridge, formerly Daniel Brooks? I was just wondering if community development had any involvement in that.
We don't, as a department.
Okay.
We don't. Again, that's the housing authority. Yeah, that, which is a separate entity. But you do know, well, you may not know, I'm not sure, but the city did actually contribute to that project, the $6.5 million.
Right.
So the city is involved, but it's not just directly through our department.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Has there been any questions that came in from YouTube, Kaisha?
Well, I can only see questions that come in on the chat. That would be, I think it's Noelle she would be the one that would be able to tell us.
Okay,
I think if
got
there
it.
was anyone up there, but I don't think anyone's tried to come in to ask a question.
Okay. And Noelle, if you're listening, let us know if you've heard anything from YouTube. Okay.
No problem. I'm checking now.
Okay, thank you. In the meantime, is there any other question from the CAC?
And if I could just close out, I know I think I clicked away from my slide, but just to let anyone know that if they do want to follow up on anything that was presented tonight, you can reach out to our office at 336-883-3349. And you can get information on anything that you saw this evening, or any questions, feedback, comments, anything. We certainly welcome that.
Nina, Jennifer from the Service Center said, thank you, Nina and Michelle.
Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate that.
And while Noel is checking to see if there's any questions, we have a staff member that I don't think you guys have been introduced to. So April, can you come on and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm April Jones. I work on the admin team. Nice to see you all.
Thank you, April.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
And I think everybody knows Kaisha.
Yes, we do.
Yep. Hi, hello, hi.
Just a quick, was just for a couple of seconds as Noel is checking. Just wanted to let you know, our CAC, I know we've probably heard this presentation before. And so as Nina stated, you know, if you have any questions or anything that you want to check up on, you can definitely reach out to her and the team. As we know, based on the schedule, this is for the review of the annual action plan that she stated, that she has laid out. Once again, let's keep track of the dates. They will be coming back at our next meeting, which is going to be on April 28th for review. So, you know, once again, just keep track of the schedule and know at our next meeting that we will be reviewing what will be presented as well.
Okay, Noel said there are no YouTube questions as of right now. Thank you, Noel.
Yes, thank you so much. So what that means, Nina, is you have done an excellent job. You have covered everything. You have answered the question that was presented. And so therefore, everyone has all the information that they need.
Or maybe I've overwhelmed them and they don't know what.
Well, that too.
Let's hope not, though. Let's hope
Right.
not. Well, thank you.
Right. Well, thank you once again, Nina and Michelle as well for this presentation. I know y'all will be working on the draft and going forward. So thanks again for your time and also for the information. Very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So what we're going to do from here on is we're just going to continue on the agenda for the CAC. There's not going to be much, you know, for today, just because we wanted to give, you know, time to this presentation as well. For right now, next on the agenda was the meeting minutes. And again, we're not going to do the meeting minutes today. We're going to present it. We're going to have it shared at our next meeting. As far as community development and housing updates, I believe there is none. So once again, that will be next month. Again, we wanted to make sure you gave time for this presentation. So that's going to be at our next meeting. Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. Could I mention one thing though, just as an update?
Sure, you sure can.
Yeah, we do have two staff positions that we currently are advertising for. And I just want to put this out there. We have, it's a community development project manager, and that is a position that works with our affordable housing program with the emergency repairs and housing rehabs. And so that position is currently open. And then we were blessed to get a new position. It's a compliance officer. And that is someone that we are looking for that hopefully has some background and experience in working with grants, with federal grants and administering federal grants to help us as far as like monitoring our programs and making sure that we are in compliance with certain federal regulations. So we do have those two positions that are out there. They are on the city's website. Maybe closing out really soon, maybe by the end of the week. So if you know anybody or if there's anyone out there, please, you know, just share that information. We are looking to bring some good folks on board. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure. As a matter of fact, since this is new information, if you don't mind, Nina, can you repeat what you just said? I just want to make sure that especially since we have others that may be listening to for the first time, so that they are aware of these two jobs that's online.
Right. Okay. We have a community development project manager, And that is someone that will actually work through our affordable housing or with our affordable housing program. They work with the homeowners and contractors in overseeing our emergency repair programs and the housing rehab. So someone with a residential construction background would be definitely a plus. And we have a new position that is a compliance officer. And that is a position that we are looking for someone to assist in monitoring our programs and ensuring that we are meeting certain federal regulations and certain requirements when it comes to the implementation of our programs.
Thank
So
you.
we
And
just really-
is there a date that that they need to, if someone is looking for these two positions, is there a cutoff date?
Yes, it is, I believe, this Saturday. That
Okay,
would be the
thank you.
26th. I'm sorry. Yes, I don't think we've actually met since these, because they advertised for 2 weeks. And so it's out in the current advertisement and job posting. So they were not out there the last time that we met, I don't believe. So yeah, so if we need to, we'll definitely advertise again, but we are definitely trying to get some good candidates for those positions. But yes, go to the city's human resources page and the information can be found there.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Is
you.
there, yeah, no problem. Is there any other update from community development and housing?
No, there's nothing else. Thank you. I appreciate the
Okay,
time this evening.
no problem.
Mhm.
And folks, to that point, I just want to let you know, the 2 jobs that were shared, it's going to be closing out on Saturday. So that's in 2 days. So I would suggest if you do have the qualifications that you get on tonight and you submit. Okay, get on tonight and submit. All right. One of the things that you will notice is when we have these meetings, there are information that's being shared as well as jobs that's shared. So once these things are shared, I strongly suggest that you get on it, because this is a good place to hear information and also to be plugged in your community. One of the things I want to also echo was something that Nina said before about community development and housing. She mentioned that it's about promoting community and economic development. And so once again, as we have heard in the presentation, as well as the job being shared here, again, you in the community, you have information here that can help. Okay, so that's what we're all about here in High Point. This is your community. This is what we're here for. Okay, next on the agenda, I don't see I don't see anyone from City Council. I don't see Cyril. So is there anyone, Michelle or Nina, do you have anything to share? Any updates from City Council? Okay. All right.
Mr. Chair, excuse
Yes,
me,
sir.
I do have a question.
Sure.
And this is just for, general purposes, but what is the city's position on being open to the public? Or do we now have open meetings where people can come in and they can sit in meetings in person, or is it still virtual?
The city meetings are city council meetings, they're committee meetings. They are open to the public. We are not having meetings in the fishbowl like they used to. So all of them are being conducted in the city council chambers, just so that people do have more room. So yeah, so the meetings are open to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Burrell, can I
Yes.
make a statement?
Sure.
I just want to reemphasize what Nina said about Operation Inasmuch. If you guys would like to participate, please let us know. I will send out a email to you, because we will be ordering t-shirts also. And so by April the 1st, if you just let me know something by April the 1st, and we can actually be able to assist you with that and put together the city's team. Because if you guys participate, you will be on the city's team unless CAC wants to go in on a CAC team. So it will be totally up to you guys. And Warren Boone has already volunteered to participate in Operation Inasmuch. And so, so that's an awesome thing there. And then the other thing, the other update I want to give to you all is that next week I'll be sending you a link to go into Neighborly to be able to review the grants that was talked about at our last meeting. And we need to discuss, once you guys review the grant, I think we brought this up once before, but we never came to a decision as to whether or not you guys are going to want to bring the applicants in to hear them present, or you're just going to let what you read in the applications help you make that decision. And then at that point, you need to decide on whether you as a group are wanting to get back together to be able to discuss those applications. And it will probably be a meeting that you will have that will happen before your next meeting.
Will we have a chance to ask questions of the applicants at any stage of the process?
If you're reviewing the applications, if you can write down your questions and then get those questions to me, then we can make sure that the applicants get you answers to those questions that you need. Or if you guys want a review where you're going to ask the applicants to present, I need to know that too. Because we're doing things a little different this year. We're actually putting everything in the system that you have the opportunity to look at everything. And I don't know if you want to have them to present, or you're going to just use what you have that's been presented before you to make a decision on who will be awarded grants.
Mr. Chair, if I could just add, I would like to have an opportunity to speak to the applicants and to have them answer. But I want to recognize, COVID and, social distancing. I do want to keep it safe. So I would like to have a situation where we can speak to them, but, I do take, appreciation for the fact that we're still in the COVID, and, that's just my 2 cents.
And if that is the case, as you remember, during COVID, whenever you guys wanted the applicants to participate, we did it via Zoom. And so they were able to present via Zoom at one of your meetings. And so if that is something that you guys, would like to happen, then what I would end up doing is actually setting up a time that the applicants could possibly present to you. And then you go into the Neighborly to do your scoring, because once you go into Neighborly to do your scoring, you're going to check and you're going to score. And so I would think that they need to present to you, if that's what you guys want, present to you first, and then you go in to do your scoring. Then you review the written application and then be able to score.
So I just got a question, Robert. As you look at what was presented so far, do you believe you're going to have questions before you see what's going to be online?
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to be looking at.
Okay.
For me, I would just like an opportunity, just to speak to the individual, just kind of get a feel for what their organization, what their objectives are, how they think they can meet these goals. And I just like to hear from them. But again, just to answer your question, I'm not sure.
Okay.
To reserve that, for a time where if I do have a question, I can answer it straight to the applicant.
Okay. I think what we need to do, and I'll just confirm with Michelle. I know we have a short window. And I think it's probably going to be less than 30 days. But I know, like before, I think it was it was last year when we did speak to them. I know we had to set up separate days. I think it was 2 days that we had scheduled to meet with them. So it may be something that we may have to do before the cutoff date, or whatever that deadline date is. Michelle, by chance, do you know what that date is for the deadline to submit?
We just need to make sure that, oh, you're talking about for the applicants to submit?
Correct.
Their deadline was March the 4th.
Okay, March the 4th. So on April the 4th is when you're gonna send up for us to score. I mean, the link, correct?
I will send you the link next week.
Okay. When do we have to respond? When do we have to respond in order for the information to go out to them?
Okay, now respond to what and what information? I'm sorry.
So yeah, sure, you're fine. I'm trying to figure out what time frame we have where once we score or before we score, if we have a meeting with them, we have enough time before we score so that those monies can be appropriated.
I would say that if you are going to want them to present, we probably give them 2 weeks. And so by April the 1st, I would like to be able to send something out to the grantees to basically tell them that they're going to be presenting on a certain date. And we need to choose that particular date because, and I would say that if we do it the 1st, maybe somewhere around the 15th. But what we have to do is to be able to hear those presentations and be able for you guys to score so that when Nina is ready to present to the committee, that she will know who you guys are recommending. And that has to be in there also whenever she's ready to recommend to the city council.
If I can add, if we can have everything done, I know that things are a little bit further behind this year because we did embark on this new process. But if we can have everything so that I can present it at the public hearing April the 18th, if I'm able to, I can present it to council during that time, that evening. And before that, I think it will be okay. When we put the 30-day, the draft out there for the 30-day review, a lot of times we don't know who those agencies are going to be. So as long as we have it before we go to council. And if I can say, Michelle, I think too, we received, was it 8 applications?
I think it was 8.
Yeah, so we know that we've received 8 applications. Some of the programs, you all are quite familiar with. You've seen them before, so it may not be anything that you have a lot of questions about, but we may have. I don't recall right off all of the agencies that applied, so I'm not sure what new initiatives are out there.
I think there might have been 2. I can't remember who they were, but and even with 8, and they only have 10 minutes to do their presentation. You could, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but you could actually do it all in one night because we're doing it virtually. And you can actually, do it all in one night. And we just set up those times for those individuals to present. And so I changed what I was saying because I said that we probably need to have, give them, about 2 weeks. And so Nina needs her information by the 18th.
Right.
And so
it looks like 1 week.
Yeah. So if we're doing something, I probably need to know like now.
Agreed.
So that I can actually send something out tomorrow.
Agreed.
And it gives them as much time as possible to be able to, to do what needs to be done. And it'll be about 2 weeks if I can send something out tomorrow or this weekend.
Okay. So let's do this. Let me hear.
That you guys want, if that's something that you guys want to do.
So let's hear from the other panelists, guys. What you think? Rob has raised a question about having our grantees to do a presentation, which we can. So before we come to some consensus, I'd like to hear from everyone else on what their thoughts are before we have Michelle to go through the process of making this happen.
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
I think that we need to allow them that opportunity to present. We do have a lot of new people on the council, and I think they need that experience. We're coming out of pandemic, or out of COVID, excuse me. So I'm in favor of allowing the applicants to present. And we can knock
Okay.
it out in a night. I mean, we've done it before.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Jackson.
Yes, I think it's a great idea. I was looking, are you considering like something like April 7th, knocking it out on a Thursday like that?
Yeah, it would probably be on a Thursday night, if that's what's okay with you guys. It would be whatever date is good for you guys. You know, to do it, whatever you think is most comfortable for you, as long as it's not on a council meeting night. And then I have enough time to get it out to the agency so they can put the timing on their schedule.
I have a question about the neighborly. So it'll open next week. We will have access to it, so we can see the grant, and we can review it, and then we're gonna be able to ask them questions in person. Virtually.
Nina, question for you. Nina,
Yes.
whenever they go into, whenever they go in to review that, can they sort of save it and not score until after they,
Yes.
until after they do that?
Yes, you can just go through and actually read the application. You don't have to score it until afterwards if you like. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll just
So-
kind of save wherever you are.
So what I can do is I can send you guys out the link, and I can actually do that tomorrow. I can send you out the link so that you can go in and look at the applications. I do it on Monday. I'll send it out to you on Monday. And then, like Nina said, you can save it, and then we can go ahead and set up a date that we can have them to present to you guys via Zoom.
And what you'll need to do is, of course, get registered and all of that. That you'll be able to see that on the home screen where you can actually register to use the software. And if you have any questions or if we can get it out tomorrow, Michelle, I think it would be good. And if people have maybe some time over the weekend, they want to mess around with it a little bit, that might be good.
Okay, that sounds good. Mr. Belton, are you on the phone?
Yes, I'm here. I've been from the very beginning when you all
Okay.
were playing with
Okay.
the stuff.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the presentation from the grantees. How do you feel about hearing a presentation via Zoom?
I think it would be great. It gives the applicant an opportunity to maybe detail a little something that they don't have in the application. It gives them an opportunity to highlight that if they want to. So I think it'd be great to have them to speak with us.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And Jason, are you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just wanted to get your take as well on the conversation.
Oh, yeah, I think it'd be great, especially being that I'm kind of new here. So I kind of look forward to the process. So most
All right.
definitely, I think it'll be a good thing.
Well, that being said, can we get a motion?
Delson, so move.
All right. Can you get a second?
I second.
All right. So the second, the motion has been second to have the grantees make a presentation. Let's see. Let's go down the roll call. For all, if you're in favor, say aye. If you oppose, say nay. Let's see. Dr. Jackson.
Aye.
Robert Sims.
Aye.
Warren Boone.
Aye.
Jason Hicks.
Aye.
Mr. Belton.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So the motion has been approved. That being said, Michelle, I will leave it in your hands to get it set up for that date.
What date are you guys looking at?
I think we said April 7th if it's available. And like you said, I'm not sure if there's anything that's happening with this city. Let me just check as well.
Okay, what I will do is I will get with our communications to make sure that we can
Mhm.
set up on April the 7th. And then I will and if that's the case, I'll just email you guys and say April the 7th is to go. And then I'll actually send out something on tomorrow once I get with communications to all the grantees with the time frame that they will be presenting.
Sure.
And my question to you is, would you like to start at 6:30 or would you like to start at 6 o'clock?
I think it will be best in this case if we start at 6. But panelists, give your take on time. I mean, it's gonna be 10 minutes, but I can tell you some may be a little longer.
I'm in agreement with 6.
6 is fine.
All right. So yeah, Michelle, if you can set up for 6.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. And Robert, thank you for that suggestion and for that comment. Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is announcements and comments. So first off, our next CAC meeting is going to be on April 28th. April 28th. That's all. It's going to be our next CAC meeting. Is there anyone that has any announcement or want to share anything that has not been presented as far as announcements or comments? Okay. And Michelle, I'm going to, after this call, I'm going to sign up for the operations in as much.
I just sent you my email about it.
Oh, good deal.
Send me your
All right.
t-shirt. Send me your
Oh.
t-shirt size too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Chair, I do have one thing.
Yes, sure.
I wanted to comment about the suggestion by Michelle to have a team CAC for Operation Inasmuch. I'm in full support of that. So I hope everyone, all the panelists, will participate in this. And I will participate as well, Michelle, so you can add my name to the list.
There we go. There we go. I totally agree. I totally agree. At first, I thought it was just a couple, but now that it looks like we have a team, we might as well have a CAC team.
Let's go team. Let's go get them.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
All
send me
right.
your t-shirt sizes.
Sure.
So I got
Any
4
other-
people.
Yes, so far. I think we're gonna get a couple more by the time this weekend comes.
Yeah, I'll also be volunteering.
Oh,
so.
well, hey. All right.
I know, what's her name? Jennifer? Is her name Jennifer? I think she said she
Jessica?
wanted to-
Oh, yeah,
Jessica.
that's right. She sure did. She sure did mention that she may be able to do it this time, especially since the market is earlier this year.
And you just get with the O'Reilly. I'm gonna
I
put her
will.
name on the list.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm. All right. Any other announcements before we move over to our next agenda item?
I do want to say one thing. VITA program, we are still up and running. So if anyone out there needs their tax returns filed in the city of High Point, we have different locations. You guys can contact Community Housing and Development. They'll set you up with an appointment. They're doing an awesome job. I suggest anyone who wants to get their taxes done for free, come out.
And I'm gonna make a change to what you just said, Ron. We're booked up. We're actually booked and we have a waiting list of about 48 people.
Wow.
And so we have just cut it totally off because we're not gonna have 48 people to cancel between now and April the 18th. So we are booked.
Well, good job, team.
Yeah, that's great. And to that point, I am glad that those that did have their appointments are keeping their appointments. So yeah, that's good. All right. Are there any other than the normal stuff for our next meeting for next month? As far as agenda, does anyone have anything additional that they would like to add to the agenda? Anything from the panelists that any suggestions you may have that you may want to add for us to discuss? Okay. Any other thing that you want to discuss for announcements or comments? All right, y'all know what's next. It's adjournment. So can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Nobody wants to go
Oh,
anywhere?
wow, I'm surprised. I'm like, wow.
So I was on mute, just talking away.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a
Second,
second?
second.
We'll just do this all together. And well, actually, you have to go down the roll. I'm sorry. Let's see. Dr. Jackson. Yay. I yes or no?
Hey.
I'm sorry. Yes. Warren Boone.
Yes.
Jeez. Robert Sims.
Aye.
Jason Hicks.
Aye.
Mr. Belton.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. This meeting is adjourned.